How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be looking at a tier list for Instacart stores to shop at from like the shopper point of view. So this is going to be a very different type of video. It's going to be very raw, probably like no editing. It's just going to be me sitting here looking at this tier list. So yeah, we're going to rate things from S to F. If you guys know how tier list work, that probably helps. But basically S is like the best and then F is the freaking worst. So obviously we have our best stores and we're going to get to them. You probably already know the first S tier, but let's just get into the list here. First of all, we have a guest appearance. We got my dog. Come here. Up. This is my dog. The reason why I can't record sometimes because she's crazy and a puppy. We also have my wife over there. Believe it or not, I'm married and probably older than you think. But yeah, she's going to be helping us out with this list because she's also a shopper. And my dog's going to be helping us out too, apparently, because she's also an Instacart shopper, believe it or not. She's one of their best. I heard she gets good ratings. So anyways, let's get back to the tier list. And we got some tomato juice here. If you guys know, you know. But it might not be tomato juice. Anyways, let's look at this list. So basically what I did was I listed like all the stores that I ever shop at, and then like I added ones that I see because I travel sometimes, and when I travel I just turn on the app and I kind of see what are there for Instacart. So I was able to get some good ones on here. I also included stores that I have not been able to shop at that just kind of vary. So we have some like East Coast stores, we have some West Coast stores, and just Texas stores because that's where I'm located. So we have a lot of stuff and hopefully stores that you guys know and have tried. All right, we're taking her collar off because she just won't stop moving. But let's look at the very first store on our list, and that is CVS. CVS is a very interesting one because of that disease that is going around. It just so happens to be the main place that you buy those COVID test strips. And yeah, there's a lot of people doing some weird stuff with like CVS and Walgreens where like when they're all out, they would accept the orders with these COVID test strips that were out of stock, knowing they're out of stock, and then cancel the order and then get the $7 pay. And then they just do that all day sitting in their parking lot. So yeah, you can make money there, but they're not really great. It's very rare, I should say, that you see a good CVS or Walgreens order. And I think right off the bat we need to throw these in D. And we're going to like have to readjust here in a little. So as we go through the list, if something just isn't matching up right, we can move things later. I'm not going to like hold it to the D tier, but that's where we're going to throw it for now. I think let's throw CVS and Walgreens into the D tier, which is just basically a little bit lower than average. Next up is a HEB or HEB because I didn't put the dashes in there. HEB is where I started doing Instacart. So I don't know. I think HEB's a pretty good store. I've seen a lot of really good orders, and personally, I know some people making bank at HEBs. So just
like that's on the highest tier.
I don't know. I think A tier. Because S tier, we all know what's S tier.
Yeah.
Costco.
Okay. Well, we'll put it.
I don't know. I'm going to throw it at A.
Yeah.
Because you also get a lot of normal orders for HEB, but you can get good orders still.
Yeah.
But after we go through it, we can adjust as need be. But let's just go ahead and get Costco out of the way. We got a S tier right off the bat. It is literally the best place that you guys could do Instacart. The Costco drop is just insane, and I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this because I'm literally, every time I tell you guys about the Costco drop, I am literally creating competition for myself. And I'm not saying that my channel is really going to make that big of an impact, but I've been noticing way too many shoppers at my Costco lately. Like, just taking an order at the Costco batch is becoming difficult. Not very happy about that. All right. Let's look at Walmart. This one's a interesting topic because Walmart at least in my area, doesn't actually have Instacart orders, but if you guys get on YouTube, you'll see people doing Walmart Instacart orders. So somehow it varies per store, which doesn't make sense. But from what I've seen, it is trash. It is similar to Sam's, and we'll get into that. But let's throw Walmart into the E tier, like way down there. We don't like Walmart. All right, next up, Sam's Club, which is literally like Walmart's version of Costco. That's how the best way to like describe it. Obviously, being like a bulk store, Sam's is, you get bigger orders and they're pretty like simple to shop. Like usually those are like 10 items and you're in and out in like $20. Whereas like if you're doing some like Schnooks or HEB, you're going to be getting like 40 items for the same price. So that is the one disadvantage of Sam's, is that it's just not as good as Costco. Things are laid out weird. Their stock isn't as good. And their orders, like people don't usually tip as much at Sam's versus Costco just because of the popularity aspect. But I'm not going to throw it at E. I'm just curious, what do you think Sam should be at? I'm going to guess, I want to do B, because it's not that bad, but it's better than a lot of the other stores.
Yeah. I would say B. Yeah, I think that's a good place to put it.
It's a little bit above average. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds, I don't know. Kind of depends on the orders, because there are a lot of really bad orders at Sam's.
I'm going to throw it at a B tier for now.
Okay.
And we're going to see if it should stay there or not. I want to come up with a F tier. Just like look at my list and throw something in F so I have a better like idea of my scale here. Just looking at the list, I think a safe one for the F tier is 5 and below.
Or Dollar Tree, Dollar General.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's true. Let's throw Dollar Tree down at the F tier. These are orders that if you're trying to make good money, if you think about it, someone that is shopping at Dollar Tree probably doesn't want to spend a lot, so they're probably not going to tip you extremely generous. That is like probably a rude like thing to say, but it is what it is. Like, you're not going to be making bank at Dollar Tree.
But also, like, since everything's pretty much $1 or like cheaper, most people tip from the average of how much they spend. So
your average tip is going to be lower.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've never seen a good Dollar Tree order, but I also don't camp out at Dollar Tree for orders. So there's that. Ever heard of the Dollar Tree drop or the 5 and below drop? No one has. So I think 5 and below, I'm probably going to throw in F2 just because these are usually almost every time, at least like where I live, 5 and below is extremely high mileage. And I think it's because there's just not a lot of 5 and belows in the first place, and it's like one of those places that you shop at for gifts. So you guys might be buying a gift for someone through like Instacart and then having the person like me pick it up and drop it off 20 miles away from the store. I think most of the 5 and below orders that I do see are like 17, 20 miles and like 5 items. And you guys can't find stuff at 5 and below. Like, I have one order at 5 and below that I think I averaged 1,000 seconds per item.
Yeah, I was going to say that because I remember I've done one order at 5 and below, and it not only took forever, but also they were out of half of the items that they requested.
Which means their adjustable tip is going down on an order that probably wasn't worth it already. So like the only time that I would take these orders would be if I'm already traveling the direction. So like usually just because of the high mileage, they do pay like 17, 20 bucks, but it's like a risky order to take. So yeah, 5 and below, everyone, F tier. Let's take a look at a interesting one, Best Buy. So Best Buy obviously sells electronics, which are expensive, and if you have an adjustable tip, it's going to pay decent. So I do see, if you guys do see a Best Buy order, they're kind of rare to come by, and you could probably like list on your hand how many Best Buy orders you would see in a week. But when you do see them, it's probably for like an iPad or a Google Home or Alexa, like things that usually cost a good bit in the first place, and they like to pair these up. So they're sometimes only like 2 people and like 2 items and 10 miles, and they'll pay you like $30, which isn't too bad, but it is a little awkward picking them up, at least if you're not used to it. So like you have to go to the counter and be like, hey, I'm shopping for this person, show them the order, they scan a thing, and then you deliver it. And usually, because of how expensive it is, you have to scan an ID, which can be troublesome if the person doesn't know what's going on. Because the one Best Buy order I did was for an elderly man that I think had like dementia. So like I felt bad. Like I delivered, and he did not know what was going on. And I was like, hey, like you ordered this iPad, and it took him like I think 5 minutes just to come to the door because I was waiting because I had to get his ID. And then finally, like, I kind of explained what was going on, and he didn't understand, but he gave me the ID, and he took the iPad, and I was at the right address. And when I walked away, someone else in the house was like, thank you. So I think they knew what was going on, and that they're kind of like probably the one that placed the order in the first place. But yeah, you might have to return items like that. But I think they're a decent place to shop at if you see the order. I'm going to throw them in B with Sam's. Next up, we're going to be looking at Target.
Target's pretty good. I mean, the people who shop at Target are kind of bougie, I would say. So,
yeah.
Like, if you're shopping at Target, most people that shop there would tip well. And I think it's laid out pretty well, and they are usually in stock, you know.
Yeah. Target, like, not many people shop Target for groceries, and the people that do usually have like more money. I don't know. It's a interesting company, definitely different outlooks than a lot of these other stores, which might be why certain people like Target. You do your own thing, but Target usually does pay all right. And at least with Shipped, I know we're mostly making this for Instacart, but for Shipped, Target is a really good place to shop at. And I don't really sit at Target a lot, but the few times I do get orders, they're usually decent. So I think it is safe to throw them, I think in, I don't know, A or B? What do you think?
I would put it in A. I feel like it's a good
A. We don't have many A's so far, just HEB.
I would say it's about the same as HEB. I think I feel comfortable with A for Target.
All right, we're going to throw Target up an A. Up there close to the top. Next up, let's do Total Wine. This one, I don't know where all Total Wine is, but everywhere I've ever lived, there's always been one. And I've gotten a lot of really good orders at Total Wine. Like, these are usually like $30 orders with 2 items or something like that. So if you guys do the math there, like, you guys could probably shop it in 10 minutes and like go there, get back to your car in 10 minutes. And the only like weird thing is it's an alcohol store, so you probably don't know it that well because you're not there every day, most likely. I hope not. And these stores actually have really good information on the app. So on Instacart, it actually gives you the exact aisle in the shelf for Total Wine. They used to do that for HEB, but they stopped for my app. But Total Wine is actually laid out really well. It's easy to shop. You do have like a loyalty badge that you have to scan, but for the most part, it's really easy. And you do have to scan an ID, which is the only downside. Because if they don't, like, if they're not at their house, then you have to return it. And you lose the tip, which is most of the pay. So, I don't know, I really like Total Wine, and I think I would put it at the A tier.
I've never done a Total Wine
The few total line orders that I do take, they're always good. And my dog, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right. My dog agrees. Total line is an A tier. Let's do a store that I haven't shopped in a while. Sprouts. So this is a interesting one, and I'm not like extremely close to a Sprouts, so whatever I'm gonna say here might not be like completely accurate, but usually the Sprout orders that I see are extremely high mileage and low pay. People that want to eat healthy, but they might not have the money to tip you extremely well. It is what it is, but I'm sure if you guys sit at Sprouts, you guys will probably get really high paying orders. I only see the leftovers. So I think Sprouts would probably be around D or C. It's kind of hard to tell. And another thing I wanted to do for this video, I'm going to have something in like the description that you guys could copy and paste into the comment section so that you guys could like comment your own tier list so we can kind of like get a better picture and see if we're all on the same page or if I'm just incredibly off. But let's go ahead and throw Sprouts. What, C or D? What do you think? What is the dog doing?
C, maybe?
What's
Her
the dog
legs
doing?
were wrapped around my foot, so I lifted my foot.
So C or D? I forgot.
C, I think.
C. It's our first C tier. All right, let's look at BJ's. Now, I haven't like ever shopped at the store, but before I did this video, I did a good amount of research on like some of these stores that I haven't heard of that people do Instacart shopping at. And from what I understand, BJ's is very similar to Costco and Sam's Club. It's like a warehouse type of store, which means it probably needs to be up pretty high. And from what I've heard, they have good orders. I'm just going to throw that at the B tier to go with Sam's. I think that's fair. All right, next up for my West Coast people, we have a Fred Meyers. And Fred Meyers is very similar to like my H-E-B or like your Schnooks if you're in the Midwest. I would say that's probably, I don't know. I feel like there's not enough stuff in the C tier because it's probably not as good as BJ's. I think it's probably just like an average store.
C's probably good then.
For Fred Meyers.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it in the C. And then Publix, from my understanding, is kind of like the East Coast version of Fred Meyers, right?
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we probably, I think the next 3 or 2 are all pretty similar, actually. I think Publix is probably going to be like a C tier. And then Safeway, that's a West Coast?
Yeah. But it's a healthier version of like Fred Meyer, I'm pretty sure.
So, since I don't know the store very well, I'm probably just going to throw it in the C tier. And I'm going to leave it up to you guys to make your own tier list of these stores to see if you guys think I'm accurate. And if you guys think I'm like incredibly wrong by any means, let me know. Because some of these stores I just haven't been able to shop at. And I'll do research on the store, but it's hard to see like how big their Instacart orders are. I'm just like throwing it on a solid guess here and from what I see on YouTube. Next up, we're going to do Schnooks, which is a store that's not in my area, but I have shopped at Schnooks before whenever I go back up to St. Louis. So Schnooks, I think, would probably be safe to throw in like a B or C tier. From what I saw when I was in St. Louis, Schnooks had some really good orders. And I would say better than like some of the Fred Meyer orders that I would see whenever I'm up in Washington. So I think it's safe to throw it in B. We'll have to see about that. Next up, we got Aldis. Aldis is a weird one, and this is a store that I see in St. Louis whenever I'm there. It's a German grocery store. It's a very healthy place, and they're priced very well. And it's a little weird because you have to like pay for the bags there, and you have to tell Instacart like how many bags you would get. It's a little weird whenever you shop it your first time, but it is a very small store. It's like the size of a shoe store. So it is pretty easy to shop. It's not like you're bouncing around corners and walking like a quarter mile to get across the store. It's very simple, and if it's not in stock, it's not in stock. There's like no replacements. It's kind of like Costco where there's not replacement possibilities. So the only bummer about Aldi's is the pay usually is really low. From everything that I've seen, the Aldi's orders are like 50 items, $20, 10 miles. I'm thinking it is pretty safe to throw it in the E tier. You may have had better luck than me with Aldi's, but from what I've seen, I'm not a big fan of it. All right, Wegmans. If you guys watch Tatvar, however you guys pronounce his name, he makes some Instacart content. He's kind of like the person that inspired me to like do this, at least one of them, him and Nugs. And basically, I see a lot of his orders happening at Wegmans. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but he gets some crazy orders there constantly. So I think it is safe to throw that either in S or A tier. I'm going to throw it at A just because I feel like Costco is really the only one that belongs in the S tier. Besides 7-Eleven, like, psych. 7-Eleven, probably going to throw that in F tier. Almost all the 7-Eleven orders that I see or have done have been people with the munchies or people that just want to get alcohol. And usually these are like long drives, low tips, and yeah. 7-Eleven orders are awful. The one that I did, the person at the register didn't like know how to run the card as credit, which turned out to be a big ordeal, and I almost couldn't check out until one of his buddies came through and taught me how to do it. It was really weird, so I couldn't figure it out. They eventually figured it out, but it took me like 20 minutes. Long story. So next up, Family Dollar, which, okay, so that's similar to the Dollar Tree, but these are like sometimes a little bit like higher priced items because it's not the dollar store. These are just like cheaper things. They also have furniture and stuff like that. These orders, from my experience, usually seem to be high miles, low pay. I've never taken one of these orders because they have never been like good. Like the miles are almost as much as the pay, which is a no-go in my book. I try to do like a $2 per mile. So your pay should be at least twice as high as the mileage, and Family Dollar is usually less. Throwing that in the E tier. Not a fan of that store. Probably will never shop an order there. And like stores like that, just imagine like trying to find like an item. It's like it's laid out weird. You don't know the store. It's not fun. All right. So next up, let's look at Bed Bath & Beyond. Another place that I've never seen an order for, but somehow is enabled for Instacart. So I'm sure that these could be pretty high paying, but the problem you're going to run into with Bed Bath & Beyond, you're going to be getting high miles and you're going to be shopping for a long time because Bed Bath & Beyond is a maze. If you thought Costco was bad, Bed Bath & Beyond is even worse. Like the items are just scattered out through the entire store. There's not like too much science behind it. They're just everywhere. And I think you guys will struggle with finding the items, and you'll probably almost always have to talk to the employees there after searching. I'm going to throw that in the D tier because I know that they can be slightly high paying, but they're probably going to take you a long time. All right, so this is my tier chart for Instacart stores. These are some of the best and worst stores that you guys could shop at as an Instacart shopper. I have no idea how this video turned out. It's definitely recorded differently than usual. A lot less editing, and it's kind of just raw. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, still got something out of it. Thank you guys for all the support lately. And if you guys want to like make your own tier list down below, just find my description down below. And you guys could just copy and paste it and then just set it up as a tier list in the comment section. And then we can all kind of get like a better baseline of what we think is the best store. But I think Costco is, safe to say, the best place you guys could do Instacart. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, smash that like button. consider subscribing so that we can get monetized here on this channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.